Hi guys, Tom Anderson, day 19. Today we're talking about the third miracle that occurred to me in 1993, and we're also talking about the importance of prayer, and I also am going to be talking about why I'm so thankful for my friend Andrew Tasi. So yesterday I was sharing with you that I had just accepted Jesus Christ, and I was feeling some anxiety because I knew that my life was not really right for God, and so I wanted to clean up my act. And I ended up, right after I accepted Christ, I drove to my friend Andrew Tasi's house, and the reason I did it is I mentioned that he had shown me how to get into the Amway business, and in 1993, in order to order products, it wasn't like you put it in your computer and it got shipped directly to your house like it does today. Back then it was every week you'd call your sponsor, in this case it was Andrew, and I'd order my products over the phone, and then when they came in I would drive to his house and pick it up. Well, since I was already driving up every Sunday to go to church, I was starting to get in the habit of picking up my products on the same day that I would go to church to see Casey. And so now this was, I had already gone to church, and then I met at Casey's house afterwards, and then I said the prayer, and I'm driving to Andrew's house, and I get to his house, and he's, I'm just sharing with him, hey, I just accepted Jesus, and we talked a little bit about that, and I shared with him just how I'm struggling right now because I just know I got to clean up my act. And he said to me, well, shouldn't you just pray about that? And it hadn't even occurred to me, hey, I can pray about that. Yeah, that makes sense. And so I started thinking, wow, well, Andrew's the one that actually gave me the book. And I was wondering, maybe he read it and got something out of that too. So I was just thanking him for loaning me that book. And he said, no problem, what was it about? So he hadn't actually read the book. He didn't even know it was a Christian book. I don't know if he would have actually given it to me or not had he known that. But I'm just so thankful that he did give it to me because it made such a big difference in my life. And then his advice too was perfect. If you're struggling with any kind of issue, obviously God is there. Just go to God with whatever it is. And so I made a decision because I had a long drive back to Mankato, and I decided, okay, I want to think a little bit about what I'm going to pray about here before I actually pray. And so, I was listening to a tape, and I was like, okay, maybe what I'll do is on my drive down to Mankato, it's a long drive, I'm going to wait until the tape flips over, and then that'll be kind of probably the half point, and that'll be a good time to pray. So I was kind of giving myself a buffer just to think about, how do I want to word this, because, I think very differently about prayer today. Let's just put it that way. But at that point, I was kind of nervous about, how do I want to approach God with, cleaning up my act and that sort of thing. And as I was driving, I was really getting into the tape, and so I was just kind of made a decision. I'm a horrible procrastinator, so I decided, okay, maybe I'll pray when I get home. I'll just, listen to the whole tape because I'm really into this. And so the tape flipped over, and then it flipped back to the front, and then it flipped to the back, and it flipped to the front. And, this isn't the first time this has happened before, where you get a little glitch in the tape, for those of you that are old enough to even know what I'm talking about with a tape player. But there's a little extra bit in there that can sometimes cause it to just keep looping back and forward, because it has this auto reverse feature, and it flips between going forwards to backwards. Well, here it was just stuck. And so I'm like, okay, no big deal. I'll just fast forward past the glitch. That's, always worked in the past. And it was still flipping forward, flipping backward, flipping forward, flipping backward. And I'm like, wow, this is a really big glitch. So I fast forward a lot more, forward, backward, forward, backward. Okay, really big glitch. I ended up trying a couple more times. I ended up thinking, okay, I know what I'm doing. I need to stop fast forwarding. I need to reverse it, to reverse tension, to straighten that out. See, I was still stuck in my analytical mind of, this is from a scientific perspective. There's a problem with my tape player. I just need to fix this silly little problem. And so I go reverse to try to straighten out the glitch, and that didn't work either. It's still stuck in front forward. So I'm really frustrated with this, and I'm like, this can't be, this can't be what I think it is. And then I ended up, bringing it all the way to the very beginning of the tape again, fast forwarding it to the front, and then, which might not make sense to everyone, but now I'm at the beginning of the tape again. Push play, it's still front backward. Oh, I know what I need to do. Eject, pull it out, flip it upside down, put it back in. I want to say it was a good 10 minutes where I was trying all kinds of different combinations to get it to, get unstuck out of that. And I'm like, great, my tape player's broken. And then it just hit me that, I did say I was going to pray at the halfway point. All right, let's just give this a try. Obviously, I didn't close my eyes. I was driving down the road. I, kept my eyes open during this prayer, but I prayed to God, and I just kind of laid it on the line and said, God, I need to clean up my act, and I know I can't do this without you. I know I need your help for this. And what happened next was I was like, okay, I'm done with the prayer. I put the tape in, and then the tape started playing just fine. So that was the third miracle. I know there's a lot of people that are still thinking, okay, this is his third miracle, and he's doing a bunch of coincidences, and yeah, each coincidence is getting weirder and weirder. Well, I think just like this, just the way that God was approaching me was he just didn't throw it all at me at once. He was kind of leading me into it, and not freaking me all out at once. So it does start to get a little bit weirder after this. Tomorrow it gets into a little bit of supernatural, not huge, but definitely something supernatural going on there tomorrow, and I'll share more with you then about that. But I just want to say thanks again to Andrew. Andrew was the best man at my wedding when I got married to Karen, and he's just been such a good friend all these years. He's still a very good friend today. So thank you, Andrew. Bye.